everyone. To celebrate International Women's Day, we are delighted to have our UCD graduate, Malika Venkatramani, on this conversation today with me. So Malika is UCD graduate from the Bachelor of Science, majoring in genetics, and she is currently attached with the National Cancer Center in Singapore as a genetic counseling assistant. So I do have a few questions for you, Malika, and would really appreciate to hear your thoughts and also your perspectives. So let's go with our first question. So as a genetic counseling assistant at the National Cancer Center in Singapore, how do you find yourself in this career path, and how did you overcome challenges in this role along this along this period? Yeah.
Sure. So firstly, Kiko and UCD, thank you so much for having me. And I wish all the women out there a very happy International Women's Day. So specifically for this question, it was quite a journey to find myself on this path to become a genetic counseling assistant. So as part of my degree at UCD, I heard about genetic counseling from one of my professors. So when I was in my second year of stage 2 of my degree, I wanted to find some internships. But I had a bit of constraint because I knew that I had to come back to Singapore during the summer because my parents preferred that I was at home during the summer. So I had to find a way to find an internship that also suited my interests, and also being limited by geography, it had to be within Singapore. So I tried everything. I emailed people, I sent messages on LinkedIn, and nothing worked. So I had to actually come up with a different solution. So I decided to go down to hospitals in person, and Singapore, being a small country, actually helped me in that process because I just had to walk down. And I actually went up to a hospital, and one of them was National Cancer Center. And I was lucky enough to get a contact of a genetic counselor, and I called her, and then things picked up from there because they were then able to arrange for an internship for me to shadow their genetic counselors and work there. And ever since I got to know that team, I decided that this was what I wanted to do. I wanted to pursue genetic counseling. And also that helped me because in the future, I didn't have to search for a job. So the team was happy to have me back after I graduated. And that's how I ended up as a genetic counseling assistant here. So it was interesting because it also made me realize that in a field that is as specialized as this, sometimes we had to carve out our own path and do things which are beyond the traditional ways of like reaching out for jobs or internships.
And how did you overcome those challenges in this role, like as female, especially working in this sector?
Yes, so traditionally, this field of science and STEM has been dominated by males. And even like being the first girl in my family to do a science field, like my family was initially quite apprehensive about me being in this path because they had never heard of genetics. And that's fine because it is a very, very niche and specialized field. So their concern was if I would ever find a job in a field that's as specialized as this. So I had to navigate that challenge because also on my part, I had to do something with my degree. Obviously, I had to be working in a field that's at least remotely related to genetics. So that was a personal challenge. I had to find an internship or a job that was in the same field as what I was studying. And I was fortunate that all my efforts to find an internship helped me reach that stage because I am now in a job that is very much at the heart of my field. So I had to navigate this challenge because I had to prove to my family and also everyone that, you know, I was fine, I was doing fine, and I would be fine in this field, even though it was something new. And while I respected their worries and their concerns, it was also about me trying to find my footing in this field.
Wow, thanks for sharing with us. So the second question for me is that what's your advice would you give to your junior, especially female junior, considering pursuing a career in your field?
Yeah, great question. And I love it when women actually are interested in this kind of questions because I would really tell women that it's important to be bold, to not be afraid to like step out of your comfort zone. So a lot of times we see if you're looking for jobs, there could be job applications listed on a job portal. And sometimes you may not even find those because some of these listings are not even posted. So I would really encourage women to just step out of their comfort zone. If you find that there is a professor or a lecturer who's doing some research that you are interested in, I would suggest dropping them an email because you never know, they might be able to take you in. Sometimes you have to create opportunities for yourself. So my advice to women is really to just step out of your comfort zone and don't be hesitant to try something, even if it might seem a little strange or ridiculous at one point in time, because that decision and that one step extra that you go might actually land you in a really good place.
Yeah, that's really, really true. And I do agree with you. So why do you think gender diversity in the workplace is so important to you?
It is very important. And I can give you an example within my own field. So in genetics, we are having this big problem now where a lot of our research that has been done traditionally has only been done on white populations. So individuals who come from European ancestries. And for the most part, it was men who were leading this kind of research. But the reality is that in terms of diseases or other kinds of traits, different populations of different ethnicities around the world have different sorts of diseases that are seen in their population. For example, we see cystic fibrosis more commonly in European populations, but other conditions like sickle cell disease or kidney disease are present in other populations. And if we have our research just slanting towards one population and done by just one gender, it really biases the kind of research we do, and it leaves out so many other populations. So if we want to increase the diversity, it starts with the workplace. We need to have more women who are interested in a variety of different conditions also, because there are a lot of diseases that affect women more, which we don't really have much research on. And of course, we also need people who come from a variety of ethnic backgrounds so that we extend this diversity beyond just one race and we can include all our populations. So this is something from a genetics point of view, but it's also important for women as a whole to be respected in the workplace. I was just reading a statistic yesterday that women are paid around 14% less than men. And I'm shocked that even in 2022, that is the case. So it starts with having more women in the workplace to prove that, we are just as capable. So it starts from having women come out and work.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. So to wrap up our session, I do have one last question is, what's your message? What's your International Women's Day message?
Yeah, so I really think that for women, as I said, of course, it's important to step out of your comfort zone, but also to be your biggest advocate. So no one else is going to stand up for you more than you are going to. And in the workplace or in any setting, if you find yourself being sidelined or if you find that your interests are not being heard, it is up to you to step up and to put out your voice there. So I would really advise women to be their own advocates. Don't be afraid to speak up and share your concerns. And your concerns are valid. As a human, as a person, you are allowed to have these concerns. So it's just that as women, we tend to hesitate because we think of so many other things, but sometimes we have to think of ourselves as well. So that would be my message. And sometimes advocating for yourself would just mean that you're standing up for yourself. And in that sense, you're not being selfish because you also deserve to shine and you also deserve to have your voice heard.
Yeah, that's really great and also very inspiring. Thanks, Malika, for sharing with us today. And then I wish you a very nice day.
Thank you so much, Kiko. I love speaking with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.